Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Big Time Sports. My name is Joe Dunn, and here's your invitation to stay with us for the next half hour as we talk a little basketball. That's right, basketball season is over. If you're a Stark County basketball fan, you're going to have a hard time looking back and finding a better basketball season in Stark County than we had this past year. We had the state champion, we had a state runner-up, and we also had the Malone University Pioneers, who had a late season March Madness run that everybody's still talking about. That's going to be the subject of our show today. Head coach of the Pioneers is here. And Coach, welcome to the program. I'll tell you what, you guys caught fire. We were talking about it before the show began. There are certain teams, when you get into a situation, you start winning in a tournament, you don't think you can get beat. And I'm sure that's what happened with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We caught fire at the right time. It actually started in a game on the road earlier in the year in a loss. We went down to Kentucky Wesleyan on the road and lost by 2. And after the game, I said, if we make the conference tournament, we're going to win it. Because after that game, I sensed we had a special team and a special group of people, and that we were going to get way better until that moment came. I'd also told them we had to come back to that locker room and probably win a game there. You know, they were one of the better teams in the league. We knew we'd have to go there at some point. And yeah, in the first round, go down there and win a hard-fought game and yeah, win two up in Hillsdale. So no, it was a fun ride and really exciting.
Exactly. Just finished your second year as head coach over at Malone. Going into this second year, what were your expectations as far as this program and the guys you brought in, and what were some of the goals you set for the team?
Yeah, honestly, going into the year, I thought we were going to be really good. We had some returning key pieces that were really talented. We had some new guys coming in. I was really excited heading into the year, and we didn't start off very well. Actually, halfway through the year, we were 6-10. We were just dealing with some chemistry stuff, and but we figured it out, and yeah, started playing our best ball the second half of the season, and from there, we were one of the best teams in the conference and in the region.
Let's go back to the end of the season. I think you finished your regular season at 13-15. You finish as the #7 seed in the GMAC tournament, which means you got to go on the road. And you're going down to one of the toughest places to play, down at Kentucky Wesleyan. They got a good fan base. You're a long bus ride down to Owensboro. Give us that synopsis of what happened down there and got you on that tournament run.
For sure. So yeah, long bus ride, go down there. They had a great crowd. They brought in a bunch of elementary and middle school kids. So it was
loud.
Yeah, it was loud. It was fun. But we were confident. We'd lost them by twice in the regular season, so we knew we could play with them. We knew we could beat them. But at the same time, we knew it was going to be hard. They were going into the game. They were 14-0 at home. So yeah, ended up winning there by 10 actually, and that was their only home loss of the year. We started off great. Middle of the second half, I think they ended up tying it, but Talik Walker had some big time shots down the stretch, and we were able to pull it out.
You win that one, I think, 72-62, which kind of, I'm sure, shocks the conference. They're looking at those scores from that night. They're thinking, whoa, Malone goes on the road and knocks off Kentucky Wesleyan. Then you've got to go to Hillsdale, where they're playing the conference tournament. You're playing Hillsdale, first game on their home court, I think.
Yeah, yep. They the #1 seed Findlay lost in the first round, so Hillsdale, the 3 seed, had to host the semis in the finals. So yeah, had to go on the road there, and we knew that was going to be really tough. Similar situation though. We knew we could play with them. We knew we could beat them. My first year here, we ended up beating them at home, and we actually played them on our senior night. We were only down 3 with like a minute left. Ended up losing by a little bit more than that, but it was a tight game, physical game, and we knew it was going to be just a boxing match. It was going to be a fist fight. It was going to be a rock fight. We knew it was going to be low scoring. Final score was 58-55, but just every play mattered. Every play was huge. To beat Hillsdale, I've done it a few times. You have to guard them. You have to be tough. You have to talk, and we did that to the utmost degree, holding them to 55. Simon Blair had a big time game for us. I thought had a really good game plan, something we had in our back pocket to use in that game. In the second half, he made some big plays, and I think he had 26 over 58. So that was a special game for him and a special moment for us.
Then you stay at Hillsdale for the GMAC Tournament Championship. A tournament bid is on the line to go to the D2 National Tournament. You're playing Thomas More. They're the number 4 seed. Tell us about that game and how you wanted to win the tournament, then advance to the tournament in Evansville.
For sure. So we got done late Friday night with the most physical game of our season, then had to get up and early in the afternoon the next day play Thomas More. It was a really well-coached, tough team. They'd been there before. The year previous, they'd made the conference championship game as well. They've got a great coach who's made a lot of runs back when they were NAI in the postseason. So we knew they were experienced. Both teams started off a little slow. I think both teams were a little tired from the games the previous day. Both teams probably a little nervous, but we made a run towards the end of the first half that carried into the start of the second. Trey Baumgartner had a big-time game. I think he was 7 for 9 from 3. But total team effort, everyone was super focused. And once we got to that moment, I just felt like we were going to get the job done. You know, we'd survived at Kentucky Wesleyan. We'd won at Hillsdale, which I think was our toughest win of the season. It just kind of felt like fate at that point that we're going to win it. We had some seniors that I felt like really deserved that championship, and I knew they were going to leave everything out there, and we got it done.
The obvious question is, what did you start doing well that you weren't doing earlier in the season to let you make that run in March?
Yeah, so yeah, being 6-10, and then second half of the year we were 10-6, but some of those losses were really close to really good teams. So we were playing great ball the second half of the year. I think our chemistry got way better. We started playing really, really well together. We started caring about each other more as teammates, as people. And then, you know, offensively, I think 3 main guys stepped it up and started carrying us: Simon Blair, Ryan Bartley, and Trey Baumgartner. I think on the offensive end, those guys really stepped up their games because they knew we needed them to. And then other guys leveled up their game too. Talik Walker played great defensively. Jake Bruns came off the bench, played a big-time role for us. Jacob Ernst, true freshman, even started a GMAC game on the road, helped us win a big-time crucial conference matchup. Frazier LaRoque, great rim protector. So it was a total team effort, but we just came together. Offensively, we were sharing the ball. We started playing a slower pace and running more sets. And defensively, we got really, really tough and nasty, holding a lot of teams to season lows, low in the 50s. I loved how we played defensively down the stretch, too.
Gotcha. Coach, stay put. We're going to take a break. When you come back, we're going to talk about the trip down to Evansville for the Division II National Tournament. I think it was the second time in Malone history they had been there. We're going to talk about that, so don't go away. We're back with more Big Time Sports right after this.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is that we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
Sometimes life is just not okay. But guess what? That's okay.
And the pain you feel today won't always be the pain you feel tomorrow.
And no temporary situation is worthy of a permanent decision.
And if we give life a chance, we can change. We can grow.
Because it's not the absences of hard times that makes life worth living.
It's the presence of hope.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. Our subject today, Malone University Pioneers basketball. What a run they had all the way to the Division II National Tournament down in Evansville. Coach is with us, and you win the tournament up in Hillsdale. Now you've got to wait and see what's going to happen down in Evansville. The second time in school history you've been there. What was the reaction back on campus after winning the tournament and coming back? Were people surprised? Were they happy? What was the reaction?
Yeah, I think everyone was excited. You know, it's actually only the 5th time in 66 years of Malone basketball that they've made the national postseason tournament.
Okay.
They used to be NAI.
Yeah.
They'd only made it 3 times. So, yeah, 2nd time for NCAA, but 5th time in 66 years. So really special. No, everyone's excited. And I think for me and our players, we're thrilled we won a championship. But I think we're ready to go and see if we can make some noise at the NCAAs. So.
Yeah, when did you leave to go down to Evansville? You get down there a couple of days in advance from the media want to talk to you down there. What was that like, getting down there and getting set to play the game?
Yeah, for sure. We left Thursday morning. Game was Saturday night. We actually played in Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield, okay.
Yeah. So Missouri S&T was the host for our region, so they couldn't host it at their own campus, so we had to play it at Springfield. No, we were focused on the opponent. They're a really good team. I think going into the game, they were 25-6, number 12 in the nation. So we were really focused on what we needed to do to try to win that game.
Yeah, I read you led for a good portion of that game against the Missouri S&T. I don't even know what S&T stands for. Did you ever find that out?
Yeah, science and technology.
Science and technology.
Yeah. So, yeah, we led most of the game. I thought our guys were really focused, really confident. Like I said, we've been playing really well the second half of the year, so we knew we were a good team at that point in time. We were up 12 with around 5 minutes left, actually, and you know, the bad things happen. We missed free throws, a couple turnovers, and you got to give them credit. They're a great team, you know, number 12 in the nation. They made some plays. Unfortunately, you know, the game goes to OT, and they got over the hump.
Exactly. That's a tough loss. As you mentioned, they're number 12 in the nation coming into the tournament. Let's talk about some of the great individual performances you had this year, kind of researching for the show. Simon Blair, a graduate student, did a great job. He was a Division II All-Star. I think he played in the Division II All-Star game. 3rd team All-American. I think he was on the show last time you were here. Tell us about that young man and what he meant to the program.
Yeah, Simon Blair is going to go down as a Malone Hall of Famer. Really special for me. You know, he stuck with me, taking over the job late August of 2023, and he had 2 phenomenal seasons, back-to-back first-team all GMAC. My first year was top 5 in the league in scoring and assists, and this past year is top 3 in both categories. He was one of only 18 seniors in the nation to play in that Division II All-Star game. Over 1,000 points. Yeah, he's just a special player and a special person that, you know, part of our turnaround actually came from his leadership and his, you know, most teams when they're 6 and 10 pack it in, but him and a couple of other guys just wouldn't let it happen. So, no, I'm just so happy for him that he got to end his career in a great way. He
wasn't real big, what, about 5'10"?
Yeah.
Point guard. Tell us about him, the way he plays for fans that haven't watched him play.
Yeah, but maybe 5'10". It's probably smaller than that, but he's got the heart of a lion. He's tough. He's so fast. You know, part of our game plan to win at Hillsdale was we were going to attack other teams' slower defenders and try and get switches and just let him go past them and either shoot a layup or, if they helped, try and make a play for someone else. So, yeah, he had an uncanny ability to finish going right and left with kind of running floater layup types. He could play professionally, yeah, if he wanted to. I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to enter the workforce. But he definitely would have opportunities overseas if he wanted to do that. He's a hell of a player.
Another player that I watched play high school down the state tournament, Afrocentric. How about Trey Bumgartner III? Really came on for you late in the year.
Yeah, he's another guy. One of the best leaders I've ever been around. Great person, great player. Thrilled for him that he had this opportunity. If you don't know about Trey's background, he's been through a ton of medical stuff. He's had to sit out 3 seasons with medical red shirts, really bad injuries. My first year with us, we started out the year 5-0. And in that time frame, he had a season-ending injury, and that was part of why our first year maybe didn't go as great as we thought it would. But came back this year healthy, and it was his best season. You know, his percentages went up across the board, his numbers went up across the board, and more than that, he just held us together as a leader too. So just one of those guys that you want to root for, you want great things to happen for, and I'm glad it happened with him.
Gotcha. Coach, stay put. He's brought two players with him that can't wait to get up here and talk about Malone basketball. So don't go away. We're back right after this timeout.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Certified by the American Lighting Association, Furbay's Light Shop is your go-to for all lighting needs, residential, commercial, or industrial. Our experts assist with every detail, from bulb size and fixture type to designing layouts. Visit us for hands-on displays showcasing various fixtures, or log in to furbay.com/lightshop. Let us help you visualize the perfect light for your space. Whether you need advice or want to explore lighting options, stop by or log in to Furbay's Light Shop today and see how we can brighten your project.
Well, the high school and college basketball seasons may be over. We're still talking a little basketball. We're talking Malone University Pioneers basketball. Head coach is here. And Coach, we failed to mention one of the highlights of your regular season. That had to be winning the Mayor's Cup against your arch rival Walsh. That's 2 years in a row you've won that. Tell us about that, and tell us a little bit about that rivalry, what it means to Malone.
For sure. I think that game means more than all of the other games combined almost to the Malone campus, it feels like. So yeah, huge game for our school, for the community. Always a ton of fun, always a packed house. So yeah, they came into our place for the Mayor's Cup this year, and I think they were up 9 at half. But the second half we came out with a just stellar defensive mindset. I think they had 16 points in the entire second half, held them to 55 total, and yeah, ended up pulling away and winning that game.
How long did it take you when you got to Malone to know that Walsh was a big game?
I think on the interview process, they brought it up. So you know very early how important that game and how important that rivalry is, and lucky that we've been able to win it, a couple of years in a row.
Sure. You got a young man sitting next to you. It's part of the program. Why don't you introduce him and tell us what he meant to your team this year?
Yeah, Jacob Ernst. He was a true freshman for us this year. Mentioned previously, started a conference game for us on the road in a game we had to win. Did a lot for us. The second half of the year especially came on strong, and just someone who I think is going to be a great player for us in the future. He's got to keep working and getting better, but no, we're really excited about having him in our program.
Well, Jacob, welcome to the program. A freshman, plays your first year of college basketball. Why Malone? I'm sure you had some other places. Why Malone, and how happy you are that you chose to be a Pioneer?
Yeah, for sure. So I was familiar with Malone because my brother actually went here a few years ago and graduated, and I just loved the program. It was mainly Coach Walrap, though, who got me here. Like, just talking to all the other coaches, like, he made it seem like just he believed in me more than any other coach. So definitely Coach Walrap for sure.
What about that transition from high school to college ball? How tough was that, and when did you finally feel like you could play at this level? Yeah, for sure. The games are a lot faster. Coming in, like, everybody's the guy from their high school. So everybody's good, everybody can score. It's all about doing the extra things to be the best player you can be. Why don't you let the fans know where you played high school ball at? Edgewood High School in Ashtabula, Ohio. Up in Ashtabula. Yes, sir. Tell us about your first thoughts once you went into the tournament, going down to Kentucky Wesleyan. You guys had finished 13 and 15. You're going to a tough place to play. Could you feel the team, their mindset going down there? What was your thoughts on that bus trip down there?
For sure. All the older guys, like Coach said, some of the biggest leaders I've ever been around in my life. They were all locked in, like just seeing them going into such a tough environment and a tough crowd and getting the job done, it was huge.
Yeah, one of the best things to do in sports, I've often felt, and been a part of a few of those, is to go on the road in a hostile environment and beat the home team. How much fun was that with all those people down at Kentucky Wesleyan to walk out there with a win?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a great experience, like I said, just playing in an environment like that. Even like not getting in the game, that specific game, like you could just feel the energy, and it was great that we got the win.
I'm sure you've been on teams, whether a basketball team or a baseball team. You get into a tournament format, all of a sudden you start believing that nobody can beat you. Was that the mindset you think coming out of Kentucky Wesleyan?
Absolutely. During the regular season, obviously it's not that it's like not as serious, but once you get in the tournament, like you said, you feel like nobody can beat you, and we had so much belief in our locker room. All the guys believed in each other, and we believed in ourselves. Final question before we let you go. What do you got to get better at? What do you got to work on during the off season, make sure in that starting lineup come November? Yes, sir. Definitely just getting stronger. I'm definitely going to put on some weight this summer. And then just working on my outside shot, I would say, is the biggest thing for me basketball-wise. Okay, well, congratulations on going through a great tournament run. It had to be a great experience for you. Thanks for coming over today, and we'll see you next year. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take our final break. Come back. We've got one more Malone Pioneer who's going to talk about the season right after this.
Ready for adventure? The 2025 Chevrolet Equinox is here. With its sleek design, advanced safety features, and spacious interior, the Equinox is built for your next journey. It combines performance with efficiency. Find yours at Ferris Chevrolet Toyota. Locally trusted, family-owned, and dedicated to your driving needs, Ferris Chevrolet Toyota makes finding your dream car easy.
This moment, it's a choice. To find out what you're made of. To own what's in front of you, no matter what that might be. We showed up, we're here. This moment belongs to us right now.
It's always that personal touch that they know you.
Primetime has people that can help you through every step of the way, and when you're my age, you need that extra help.
You don't want a lot of questioning when you're already dealing with a medical issue. Primetime is trying to help us get down the road as long as we can.
And if you're not in the right situation, a senior can lose everything. I feel with Primetime we picked the best program.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. Coach, talking about Malone University basketball and the great tournament run you did, getting down to the National D2 tournament. What did that do for your program, and what it's going to do maybe for recruiting in the future? Yeah, definitely. It gives a belief, builds a belief that we're doing the right things the right way. I really believe that we are. It's going to help recruiting. You know, for me, year two coming into a program in August of 23 with just a few players on the team, and in 2 years to have us, you know, cutting down some nets and playing in the NCAA tournament, I think is an awesome foundation, and I'm just excited to see where it can springboard us to. Sure. You got a young guy sitting next to you that you brought onto the program. Why don't you introduce him and what he means to Malone? Yeah, this is Jake Bruns, just a guy that every single day brings 110% effort. Talks all the time, is always a leader, cares only about the team, cares only about winning, a competitor, a guy that can guard almost anyone, great shooter, someone who's going to be a leader for us moving forward in the program, and just someone I love being around every day too. Jake, welcome to the program. How exciting was it as you look back now? You go through it, then you pause, and now a month later, you start thinking about it. What do you think about when you look back at that great tournament run?
Looking back, honestly, I don't think I really comprehended it at first because like it happened and you just didn't really realize what you just did. But now, yeah, looking back, it's one of the best memories I've ever had. The group of guys we had on our team, I'll always remember them. They'll be some of my best friends, and definitely just a memory that will last a lifetime.
You know, going back to some of the experiences you've had maybe in high school and other places, how much fun did you have living that experience?
It was a childhood dream. Definitely every basketball player as a kid dreams to play in the NCAA tournament, and that dream came true this last season. It was definitely the best season of basketball and most fun I've ever had playing the game.
Tell the fans where you played high school ball and what brought you to Malone.
Yeah, so I played basketball at King's High School down in Cincinnati.
Okay.
I came to Malone, and I actually came onto the JV team before. I wasn't actually on the varsity team when I first came here, and I came because I didn't really have many offers coming out of high school, and I was still pretty young. I hadn't really matured. I wasn't at, I'd say, the right size to play Division II basketball. So I played a year of JV at Malone, and then I was given the opportunity to move up to the varsity team, and yeah, that's part
Playing
of the path.
JV ball, when did you finally get the mindset working hard, thinking, hey, someday I'm going to be in the varsity, someday I'm going to be a big part of this program?
It was day one when I moved into Malone. I knew, I watched those guys play. I came to a practice and I got to see them play. It went through my mind that like I knew I could play on that team. I just knew I had to put in the work. And so that whole first year I was always in the gym at night, getting workouts in on my own. And I knew that was my goal. It was going to happen.
What are you majoring in at Malone and what you hope to do after basketball is finally over?
I'm majoring in finance and accounting, so a double major and then a minor in economics. And I'm hoping to become a financial advisor after college and after basketball.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's go back to that tournament run again. You go down to Owensboro, you beat Kentucky Wesleyan, and then you got to go to Hillsdale. Now, Hillsdale is a good program, plus they're hosting the tournament. They got the fans there. Tell us what some of the leaders on the team talked about going up to Hillsdale.
Yeah, we had, like coaches talked about, some of the best leaders I've ever been around. Trey Baumgardner, Simon Blair. They just talked about constantly pressing it that we can beat anybody if we stick together. We knew what game we needed to play. We started playing a little slower. We got stops, and we were putting the ball in the bucket, and they just kept on putting confidence in everybody on the team, no matter if you were, what role you were playing, if it was a bigger role, a smaller role. Everybody was important, and they knew that, and they were pressing that every day. So there was a lot of confidence going into those games.
When did you guys buy in that defense was going to carry you as far as you could go? Because everybody looks at offense, defense wins championships. When do you think the team bought in that, hey, we got to play defense, we're not going to win a lot of games?
Yeah, it was that moment in the season when Coach talked about we were 6-10, we weren't winning many games, and we were offensively focused. And then, yeah, we had a culture change on our team. We got rid of some problems, and we just came together, and we realized that if we didn't get stops, it didn't matter how well we were going to play on offense, we weren't going to win many games.
Yeah.
So,
final question, what did you get better at in the offseason?
I need to get a little quicker, definitely a little more athletic. I need to work on my ball handling just so I can distribute the ball more and be more confident with it, and just become a better leader, because I watched Trey all season, Simon all season lead our team, and I want to step into a role that they were in. And so I want to do that for the guys that are coming in this next year.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for coming over today. I know it was a great experience for you. Coach, as always, look forward to talking to Malone basketball with you. Thanks for coming over, and we'll touch base before next season and look forward to watching you play next year.
Yep. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, we're going to take a break and call it a day because we've talked Malone basketball. Hope you enjoyed the show as we talked a lot about some of the great moments of tournament basketball at the high school level and the college level. For the coach, I'm Joe Dunn. Have a great week, everybody.